Students, today I find it important to teach you the phrasal verbs with the regular verb think. You know what? If you feel like singing a song in English, the Titanic, title song. Every night in my dreams, I see you, I feel you. When you are singing it, you think of how the song was sung, the rhythm, the voice modulation, the words, the way the song was composed, and everything keeps you happy, right? In the same way, if you look at, uh, you know, the formation of phrasal verbs, you will be astonished that there are certain prepositions. Once you add them to the regular verb, a new meaning gets created. For example, let's see, think. I was telling you about the verb think. Okay. And suppose if you just bring today I will make something you know I'm going to give you a new idea about how to make the sentences, and how important the role of the preposition is during the formations of phrasal verbs, understood? And how the meaning changes with the, with the addition, with the, you know, with the addition of, or if the preposition gets added to the, regular verb thing, or to a verb, so first of all, let's see how the meaning changes if a preposition, understood, is added to a verb. Okay, and that verb is none other than think. Today's verb is think, and we are going to make phrasal verbs with the verb think. Okay, and we will bring so many prepositions and see how the meaning changes when you add those prepositions to the verb think. Okay, let's see. And I'm telling you, so the verb is think. Okay, like this I'm writing today, think. This is verb think. Suppose you add a word, a preposition. You suppose you add up. When you add the word up, understood, to the verb think, it becomes think of, which means if you if you think of, the meaning of which will be think up, meaning will be create. So suppose your parents want you to go to school. Okay, they are putting pressure on you to go to school, but you are thinking of a plan to avoid going to school, understood? You are thinking of an excuse. Wow, what excuse are you gonna give? Mom, dad, today I can't go to school. Why beta, why can't you go to school? The problem is I have a stomachache. Do you want me to cry in the school? And I'm sure that if I reach the school, I will not be able to even spend 10-12 minutes in the school. I have to come back. You people have to go to school to bring me back, or to bring me, understood? So I have decided not to go to school. And what is this? When you have decided not to go to school, it means you have thought up an excuse to avoid going to school. This is what is called thinking. You have created an excuse just to avoid going to school. Did you get it? I'm sure you have understood. So never think of an idea, never think of an excuse to deceive your parents. You are not deceiving your parents, you are deceiving yourself. You are playing with your own life. By doing this, you are destroying your beautiful life, or you are destroying your future. Don't think of a plan or excuse to avoid, at least avoid going to school. Okay. Another thing we can do sometimes, I love a girl. I fell in love with a girl, and maybe I know her very well, and I cannot think of my life without her. I'll think of, try to think of, I cannot think of my existence in this world without her. What is this? Think of means to have an idea. Understood? When you cannot think of a life without her, when you cannot think of yourself, understood, without her, it means I cannot think of my life without her, means she is everything for me. So just you add of, and it takes on a new meaning. What does it mean? Think of means to have an idea. Have an idea. Understood? So you cannot have an idea of a life without her. So here when you write think of, it means have an idea of life without her. Understood? It means you cannot imagine yourself or your life without, understood, presence of that girl in your life. It means she has become a part and parcel of your life. So every day you cannot even spend a minute without thinking of her. It means you spend the whole day thinking of her. But if you do it, I am thinking, you are making a mistake. Understood? Don't make this mistake of thinking of someone who you want to marry in future. So all you can do is, you cannot tell your parents you have fallen in love and you've decided to marry that girl. So how will you present this? Understood? How can you talk about your relationship with your girlfriend with your parents? How can you raise? How can you take it up with your parents? To take it up with your parents, that's this particular hidden matter or this particular affair. You have to think of a way of telling your parents. Think of a way of telling your parents to tell them about how much you love the girl. Understood? Who you want to be a part of your life. So you think of someone. Understood? You cannot think of your life without your girlfriend. Is that clear? So this meaning is also clear, I hope. Now the third. Over. You have already told your parents, suppose you told your parents, Papa, Mommy, I want you to come to a restaurant, I have a talk with you, a very important thing to discuss with you, please come with me. And you have taken them to a restaurant, you sat there, then you have thought of a way of telling them about what, understood, they did not know earlier. So you have just told them everything. You thought of a way of what? Telling about your affair with a girl from your school. Understood? Who you love from a very early age, and you want her to be a part and parcel of your life. Is that clear? And to make her love you all your life, what you need to do is to make her your wife or your life companion. All you need to do is, what can you do? What can you do? You need to tell your parents. If you don't tell your parents about how you feel about her, and if you don't tell your parents how much you love her, your parents cannot agree to your what? Decision. If you have decided, if you have made up your mind to make her a part of your life, all you need to do is, you need to convince your parents. Am I right or not? And to convince your parents, what should you do? You need to take them to a restaurant and you need to tell them all that you want, isn't it? That's how they can know and they can agree to what you want them to do, isn't it? And that's how your dream of having that girl as your life companion can come true. Understood? Come true or not. That's how your dream of making her your life companion can come true. But you cannot, understood, you cannot continue a relationship by keeping your parents in the dark about your affair, isn't it? That's how, you can think of a way of telling your parents, understood, about your love affair, isn't it? That's how we can. And now, when you add over, what does it mean? When you have told your parents, Papa, Mummy, understood? This is how I feel about her. What is this? It means consider. You want them to consider your affair. It means think over means hello. When you think over, consider something over a longer period of time. When you add think over, it means you want them to think over it for a longer period, because they need a lot of time. They cannot decide overnight. They can't tell you. Your parents must not get ready to accept your affair. All they can tell you is, okay, beta, let us think it over. Okay, it's a question of life, isn't it? And it's a question of your life, isn't it? So you have brought us into confidence, or you have convinced us to accept your affair. Okay, but I cannot tell you what we thought about your relationship with her. The moment you want us to agree to your proposal, that's a different issue altogether. What we need to do is, we need to pay a visit to her family, to enter into a conversation with her parents about who she is, and whether she is good or not, whether she can be a part of your life, whether she can carry out her responsibility, understood, of a good wife, isn't it? Whether she will make a good wife for you or not. All these things are very important, understood? That's why we need a longer period of time to think it over. We will think it over means you will think it over for a longer period of time. But even if you use think it, let us think it over. Think it over means your proposal. We'll think it over means, without mentioning you need longer period of time to think about over the affair, you can mention that. Even just over can help you. When you are thinking over something, it means you are thinking over it, taking a longer period of time. Is that clear? Okay, let us think it over, and I'll get back to you, because I'll be in the office. Your father is always in the office, so he cannot decide it the moment you want them to decide it, isn't it? So let us think it over. I'll get back to you, because your father is not always available, because he has to earn money to run the family, isn't it? So we'll think it over. We'll think, both your mama and I will think it over, and we'll let you know about our decision. Is that clear? Now you add through, throughs, through. When you add through, it means to consider every detail. It means when you use the word to consider, here consider, think. You think about every detail. You think about anything in detail. It means your mama and papa have decided to think it over, and now what will they do? They will think it through it. What does it mean? We need more time, at least a month, to think it through. To think it through means we will take, after thinking it over, we will be considering every detail, understood? Every part of it. If I'll visit, I'll meet their family, we'll talk to their relatives, understood? And there are so many things that have to be done before we come to an understanding, isn't it? And to give final decision, we have to think it through. Understood? Think it through means your love affair should be thought over, isn't it? If I don't think it through every detail of it. Whether she has done anything bad in the past or not, whether she argues with her parents, whether her parents are unhappy with her or not, because there are children who talk back to their parents. They do things that they don't want them to do. But she doesn't like her parents. Sometimes she doesn't give respect to their parents. Understood? And that kind of girl cannot be taken as a life companion of a nearest and dearest son, isn't it? So they have to think it through it, isn't it? They have to think through it, or they need to think it through before they decide. Another thing we can make also another kind of sentence. Generally we think through. If if you consider every detail of something, like if you are like suppose the marriage is already arranged, we thought the wedding party through. Understood? It means you thought every detail of it to consider it went smoothly. Understood? We thought the event through to ensure it went smoothly. Do you get it? The marriage you already arranged. It got arranged already. Do you get it what I'm saying? That's how you can make it. Huh? Let me go through it, and then I'll come back to you. Let us go through it. Go through when you think through it, you are going through every detail. Understood? You are thinking about ABC of the plan. ABC of it. It means you are considering every angle of it. Then you can add another very important preposition. We have added through, over, of, up. Understood? Now, about. ABOUT. When you are adding about after think, when you okay, Papa, I want you to think about our affair. You take less time. Okay, let me think about the affair. Okay, let me think about. Today and I don't have enough time, but I will let me think about it before I decide to give you permission. Suppose if you are willing to go to a park with your girlfriend, and you want permission, you want your parents to allow you to go to the park. Okay, if you are willing to go in the evening, okay, let me think about it, because your mother is not free in the evening, so she cannot let you go in the evening. So you had better let me talk to her over phone before I think about it. It means letting you go to the park. Okay, you have now the marriage, everything proposal got fixed, and now you are asking for permission of your parents to let you go to a park. And wherever you go, you need the permission of your parents, because they are all we who we live with. Wherever we go, we need the permission of our parents. If we keep them dark about everything that we do, we are not good sons, isn't it? Good sons and daughters. To be good sons and good daughters, all we need to do is we need to take permission of our parents, especially in India. Is nothing can move without our parents' order or advice, because we love our families more than our life, isn't it? And our parents are our gods and goddesses. Now I want to tell you, you know what? You have understood what I'm telling you here about? So, about means if you think about something, before you come to the conclusion, you need to think about it. Do you get it? So, we have got this meanings now. Up, over, of, about. Think about. Then you can think through something, think over something, think of something, think up something, think up and think about. And now there are few left. The few that are left are not very difficult at all. Like, think back. When you are thinking back, it means you are going backward. When I think back to my childhood, I feel really very happy thinking of those beautiful days. Like your grandparents, maybe you spent your early childhood days, understood, with your grandparents, okay? And living with there are many children who actually live with who might have spent their early childhood days with their grandparents. So you when you think back to your childhood, you really feel happy thinking of, understood, how you spent your, do you get it what I'm saying? Whenever you think of those days that you spent at your grandparents, understood, it makes you happy. So you can say, whenever, every time I think back to those days that I spent with my girlfriend, it, you know, I feel happy. Suppose that girl, that who the boy who wants to marry that girl, understood? The girl, clear? The boy who wants to marry that girl may say things like, now they are married, now they have children, but now the boy sometimes, he looks back or he thinks back to his good old days. Do you get it what I'm saying? If you think back, think back means when you remember your school days, your college days with your girlfriend. Well, now the times have changed, everything changed. So, what the girl is now thinking of is what? The girl, he has decided, she has changed a little. Now they have, you have got babies, understood, and you have become different. And now today maybe you fought with your wife over some petty issues. If you are a part of a family, leading family life, naturally, sometimes, the past events, we remember past events. When you remember past events, and this is called, you think back to your past. Don't do anything like that again. And understood what I'm saying? When you think back, take your hands there. What? When you think back to your what? Old school days, understood, with your wife, you feel sad. You think that those were the most beautiful days of your life, and those days were the best time of your life. So when you are nostalgic, isn't it? So you think back to your, when you think of your past, that means you are thinking back to your good old days. Understood? So, I feel sad whenever I think back to my childhood. Whenever I think back to my, good old days, school days, college days. Do you get it what I'm saying? That is what, remembering the past event, you feel sad. So we have done all these things, and and there are things that can be considered, they can be done, but it's very easy, and we have done many. 1 2 3 4 5 6. We have already done 6, and I don't think you didn't need more. I don't think you need more. I think enough. Clear? And let me explain this. I'll be explaining this not only in English. I'll be telling you about all these things about all these phrasal verbs in Bengali and Hindi. What I'm telling you, think of, বলতে যা বোঝায় সেটা হচ্ছে think of মানে ক্রিয়েট, তৈরি করা। ধরো তুমি স্কুল যেতে চাও না, হুট করে তুমি বাবা মাকে বলছো, I don't like to go to school today. Today I have stomachache. If you have stomachache, how can you go to school? যদি তোমার পেট ব্যথা করে, তুমি যাবে কি করে? তো you think of an excuse, একটা ছুতো খুঁজলে, to avoid going to school. What you have said? I have stomachache, just to avoid going to school. आपने एक बुद्धि बनाया कि स्कूल नहीं जाना आपको, तो आप you can think of an idea, you can think of an excuse to avoid going to school. आप एक बहाना बना सकते हो. बहाना बनाने का अर्थ हुआ think of. Understood? बहाना बनाना. To think of, you think of an excuse to avoid going to school. समझ में आया आपको? किसी भी टाइप का कोई भी बहाना बनाइए तो आप think of का प्रयोग कर सकते हैं. Think of का मतलब सोचना, to have an idea. Understood? I cannot think of my life without you. You think of a solution to the problem. अरे এই সমস্যার সমাধান ভাবো. Think of a solution to the problem. अब इस समस्या का समाधान सोचिए भाई. तो किसी विषय को सोचना, to consider, to have an idea of the solution to the problem. Think of a solution to the problem. इस समस्या का समाधान निकालिए. ठीक है? To have an idea about this. Think through, इसका मतलब किसी विषय को गंभीरता के साथ विचार करना. जैसे कि we thought the event through to ensure it went smoothly. हम लोग इस इवेंट के बारे में सोचा. सपोज आपका मैरिज हो रहा है, तो you thought the event through to ensure it went smoothly. It means you can, when you consider every detail. Understood? Think over का मतलब कुछ समय लेके सोचना. Suppose somebody is telling you, hey, you are a good football player, बहुत अच्छा, তুমি খুব ভালো ফুটবল খেলোয়াড়, তো তুমি আমাদের টিমের জন্য খেলো, you play on behalf of our team or you play for us, then okay, I'll think it over. আমি ভাববো একটু সময় নিয়ে. এই যে একটু সময় নিয়ে, বেশি সময় নিয়ে ভাবলে থ্রু, আর একটু সময় নিয়ে ভাবলে बहुत ज्यादा समय लेके अगर आप सोच रहे हैं तो थ्रू बैठाइएगा, और कम समय लेके समय ले रहे हैं आप, तो लेंथ ऑफ टाइम ज्यादा होगा तो ओवर. अब कुछ मुझे कुछ समय चाहिए. when you need some more time, you need to think over it. When you need very lot of time, understood, then you can think through that. Understood? Let me think it through. Let me think it over. Okay, if you are wanting me to play for you, okay, fine, I'll think it over. I will think it over whether I can play for you or not. আমি তোমাদের জন্য খেলতে পারি কি না এই ব্যাপারটা নিয়ে ভাববো. কম সময়ের জন্য ভাবলে ওভার বসবে, আর বেশি সময়ের জন্য ভাবলে থ্রু বসাবে. থিঙ্ক অফ মানে আমি বললাম টু হ্যাভ অ্যান আইডিয়া, আমি বলে দিয়েছি. থিঙ্ক অফ আ সলিউশন টু দ্য প্রবলেম. আই থিঙ্ক অফ ইউ অলওয়েজ. আই থিঙ্ক অফ ইউ. I think of you. It's because I love you. You know, you think of someone only because you love them. And no, actually, if I love you, I must think of you. You know, we think of our parents because we love them. So, you know, this is what is called thinking of somebody. They're the most beautiful things in our life. Our girlfriends are the most beautiful things. Our parents are the most beautiful. Actually, they are the people who we love, isn't it? Right or not? Girlfriends in the sense with whom you have a very good relationship. If the relationship is much better than the ordinary ones. If you have a girlfriend, like what kind of, if you have a girlfriend to what kind of, like there is a difference between a life companion and a girlfriend. I mustn't say, yeah, here like when I say girlfriend in the sense, if you have a very intimate relationship with someone. Understood? It means you're better half, your life companion. Understood? And life partner, who will be your life partner, who will be a part of your life, who will be a part of and parcel of your life. That is actually I mean to say your better half, your would be life companion. Understood? By girlfriend here, don't take like girlfriend can be anybody. If I see a girl as my friend, she can be my girlfriend. It doesn't mean that she's going to be my life companion. Okay, fine. So don't think but I have told you about think of. समझ में आ गया आपको আমি কি বলতে চাইছি? থিঙ্ক অফ মানে কোন একটা বাহানা বানিয়ে ফেলা. থিঙ্ক অফ ক্রিয়েট তৈয়ার করে. থিঙ্ক অ্যাবাউট মানে একটা জিনিস, হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে, আই উইল থিঙ্ক অ্যাবাউট হোয়াট ইউ হ্যাভ সেড. আই এম থিঙ্কিং অ্যাবাউট হোয়াট ইউ হ্যাভ, আই হ্যাভ বিন থিঙ্কিং অ্যাবাউট হোয়াট ইউ সেড. आई हैव बीन थिंकिंग अबाउट व्हाट यू सेड. आपने कुछ बोल दिया, তুমি কিছু বলে দিয়েছো, আর आई हैव बीन थिंकिंग अबाउट व्हाट यू সেড. তুমি যা বলেছো সেই সম্বন্ধে আমি ভাবছি. আর থিঙ্ক ব্যাক টু মানে কি? when you remember a past event. You can think back to your old childhood days. You can think back to your school days. You can think back to your college days. It means whenever you remember your college days, school days, childhood, you feel sad because you miss them. When you miss someone, suppose your parents, somebody, like my father. Whenever I look back to those days that I spent with my father, I feel very sad because my father was a person who I loved more than my life. And my father used to teach me every day. And my father could speak actually, he was associated with, organizations where the foreigners used to come, and his accent was really, really very good. And I am talking about the British period when India was ruled by British, and in those days my father actually died at the age of 96. You can understand, my father was born and brought up during British period. Understood? So you understand why. And my father went to a very good school, and his accent was really, really very good. Okay, fine. Now look back to, I have these are the phrasal verbs I covered today, and some more phrasal verbs. I will make another video. Think back to ये होता है, कभी कभी लुक बैक ऑन होता है, लुक से अगर करेंगे तो इसके बाद आपको प्रिपोजिशन टू लेके आना है, ठीक है। थिंक बैक टू, तो जय हो। আমি নিশ্চিত তুমি বুঝে গেছো, मुझे मालूम है कि आपको समझ में आ गया। तो ये सब था आज के क्लास में, एंड आई एम श्योर आई हैव आई एम सक्सेसफुल, और आई हैव succeeded in making you understand and my class, and I'm sure that you have learned how to use these phrasal verbs, and I will in my next class I will do the remaining ones, and I'm sure you have enjoyed my class. If you have liked my class, don't forget to give me a like, and if you have really loved my class, don't forget to share my videos with those who you think have areas of weakness to work upon and benefit from. And besides that, you please encourage your friends to subscribe to my channel and those who you love more than your life. Bye.